Bore da, good morning. My name's Teleri Evans and I'm the Customer Information Strategy Manager at Transport for Wales. Not only look at rail information, but also look at bus recently, as bus franchising is coming to Wales shortly.
Morning everyone, I'm Nick Watts, I'm one of the Control Centre Managers for Transport for Wales, so I look after the information team responsible for real-time information out to our customers.
So I'd like to say thank you to Velocity for inviting us today, Transport for Wales, to talk to you about how we're working to improve passenger experience with a customer-first approach, but I'd like to add with a staff-first approach as well. The work that Nick and I and myself have been doing the last couple of months, we want to share with you. We think it's best practice to share what's worked well for us, might be worth for yourselves as rail operators, and as well as bus operators. The work is predominantly rail, but we believe is transferable for bus as well. So just to explain who we are at Transport for Wales, we were set up by the Welsh Government back in 2016 and took over the previous Arriva Trains Wales franchise in 2018. And then it came into public ownership in 2021, so very similar like the DFTO talks. What makes us different to the other rail operators? Well, we're not exclusively just rail now, we are bus, we are active travel. We're a multimodal integrated transport network and aim to become Wales's favourite way to travel. When it comes to customer information, Nick and myself are looking to transform the delivery of planned and real-time information for rail users. And with the bus team, rewriting the requirements of passenger information for bus users. Not forgetting, we've got the Welsh Language Act we need to adhere to as well. So every piece of customer information needs to go out bilingually, Welsh first. That's where I come in. And these are the Transport for Wales values that help us and guide us in every decision we make. We are one. So not only are we engaging, listening to our customers and stakeholders, but also engage with our TFW colleagues and collaborate with other rail operators through Customer Information Group. We're doing the right thing, becoming customer focused in the control room, not just be performance focused. And we challenge ourselves. Can we streamline the end-to-end process of publishing real-time information to our customers and staff, as well as being innovative and save money? So welcome to Wales. So this is our network. We go as far as Manchester, Birmingham, Cheltenham, Liverpool, one day to Bristol, and as far as West Wales, Fishguard Harbour and Holyhead. The network is split in two. So we've got the Wales and Cross Borders, which is mostly long distance leisure travel. And we also have the Core Valley lines, which is to the right, left there. This network is not run by Network Rail. The infrastructure is ours, always Welsh Government. So there's the big difference there. We are a metro network as well as a long-distance leisure travel network. There's two control centres. There's one in Cardiff, where Nick works, and then there's another one, a new one in Taftswell, running the metro network. And I think this is where the story begins, really.
We've got the same challenges as every rail operator, really. So there's challenges about what staff say about us. Customers give us the same feedback pretty much on every disruptive incident that we have of where's my train, where's the information I need, how do I get to my end destination. And like most rail operators, a lot of our stations are not staffed. We've got a very small proportion of our stations who've got staff, and a lot of the information that we expect customers to find, we need them to go and look for it themselves. And afterwards, a lot of the feedback that we get is all about that same thing, about disruptive events, where we've got different information in industry systems to ours. So our goal is to have a consistent approach to information across all our channels.
And this is why Nick and I are here on stage together, not just me. 2 years ago, I started as a secondment in the Taftswell Control Centre. I wanted to learn more about the operational side of delivering customer information. I knew the theory, I knew the strategy, but I need to see it live, I need to see it working. And at that time, I was line managing 15 brand new starters to the industry with no experience in rail or in bus. And then Nick at the same time, do you want to carry on? Yeah. Or shall I explain the story?
So I was new to role. I started off in the rail industry about 13 years ago now in customer information, went through operations, and we were all having the same challenge in Teleri between how do we get information out to our customers accurately.
So these were the challenges from our staff and our customers. But around the same time, these two landed. Customer information pledges came to replace passenger information during disruption plan. And the pledges now govern what we must communicate to our customers in both when there is disruption or there's no disruption at all.
So customer information pledges underline everything we do. So colleagues at Chiltern and in the area today know all about those. And Brilliant Basics are the set of key performance indicators that measure our performance. They're the only set of key performance indicators that a rail operator's control has that measures their performance. As a rail industry, we talk a lot about on time to 3 and for us, passenger time lost. But none of those things specifically measure the impact on a customer experience. And that's what customer information pledges and Brilliant Basics is there for. Brilliant Basics aims to measure what you're telling your customers about disruptive incidents.
So this is the difference between PID, so passenger information during disruption, and pledges. PID was focused on the journey starting at the station and when things went wrong. Customer information pledges starts at home and finishes at home. It could start in the workplace, it could start in the pub, it could start wherever you are off the network. And this is the biggest difference that we're up against and trying to embed this into Transport for Wales and with our stakeholders.
So the Brilliant Basics KPIs, there's not 72 of these, there's only 6. So we need to tell customers why their train's delayed, and that's a reasonable thing to expect a customer to understand is, why is my train late? We've got 432 reasons that we could pick from. We won't go through those. We need to be consistent. So if on our network, if we're disrupted as our Great Western, we need to be using the same delay reasons so that it's clear to customers that we're a joined up industry. We need to have clear ticket acceptance information. We need to tell customers what a delay means, so why are leaves on the line such an important thing, especially at this time of year. And we need to be consistent between operators on incident duration and providing them alternative ways to get to their destination. We as a rail operator, as Teleri said, we're not just responsible for getting people from A to B. In Wales, we want to be Wales's favourite way to travel. So whether that's walking to the station, cycling to the station, or then getting the bus around town when you finally get to work, we need to provide customers with that alternative way of reaching where they're going.
So just to recap, these are the challenges we had about 18 months, 2 years ago. The negative feedback from staff and customers, we need to act on those. The new customer information pledges, as they know, they've been around since 2021, but they're gearing up now. We need to start reporting how well we're meeting against each pledge. And then introducing Brilliant Basics into the control room. How can we smash our KPIs, exceed them, and become best in class?
We had a light bulb moment. So this light bulb moment came when we'd gone to visit NRCC, it's a National Rail Communication Centre in Doncaster, and we visited some other top colleagues. And after visiting them, all these pieces of how the industry works, how real-time information works, came together for us. And we were disrupted on the way back from Doncaster. We spent a long time on many different rail operators that day due to cranes falling on the track, and everything you could possibly imagine seemed to happen to us on that day. But we had this light bulb moment of our real-time information isn't systems, isn't suppliers. It's building blocks of things that customers need. So if we could break those building blocks down into what the customer's need is, can we rebuild them in an innovative way?
And that light bulb moment came on watching 4 new starters, brand new to the industry, not knowing where to get information. They were panicking on the platform in Derby. It was cold, we were starving. They started to panic. And there was another 3 colleagues, Nick, myself, and Chris, seasoned rail travellers. We knew what to do, we knew where to get the information, and there's public information available in the public as well as staff apps.
We were all over Tracksea that day.
So we were piecing up the journey, how can we get back to Cardiff? We had different routes. The original route we wanted to go back was Doncaster, Stockport, and then down the marches to Cardiff. We went via Birmingham through about 4 different stations. So that's when it hit, right, if our own staff don't know how to get home, how must our customers feel? So once we finally got onto a train and we could relax, Nick and me started scribbling tearing apart all our existing processes we have in place, have in place for probably 20 years and nobody's challenged them. And we rewrote the real-time information strategy in 6 hours.
So we broke it down into 3 things. It was the people, so lines up very neatly for purposes of a presentation with TFW's values. So it's the people. What information do our people need? What do our people want? From the systems that they're using in control to the systems that our train crew and station staff are using. What are our processes? So do we need to strip down, simplify our processes to make them easier for people to manage? Do we automate the things we can automate so you haven't got a control room full of people cycling through manual processes to no real value? And then our systems. So are we using the right systems? Are we using the latest innovative systems? Are we using things that give us and our customers the most value?
So with the strategy, you want to make things different in TFW. We didn't want to send a draft document to our control room to colleagues to get validation. Is this the right thing to do? We didn't want to send it to the directors. This is what we're doing. With our customer and also staff first approach, we wanted to validate our strategy with the people that are going to deliver it. And this was a challenge for us. It hadn't been done in TFW, it hadn't been done in the previous franchise. But we released staff out of the control room into a nice function room we have at Llys Cadwyn in Pontypridd, and we did the Brilliant Basics workshops. We didn't release everyone at the same time. I mean, it didn't be possible.
Yeah, someone had to run the railway.
We had to keep the trains running, but we did it over 2 days.
And we got over 45 people from our control teams of, I think we're about 80, 90.
So in the morning, we discussed about the people, who are our people, customers and staff. Have a good, honest discussion about our processes. We made it clear at the start of the session, everything stays within these rooms, say it as it is. We want your brutal, honest feedback on how things are working today and how it could be in the future. And as well as to the systems. Are the systems we're working with today sustainable for the next 5 or 10 years, or is it time to look away and see what else is available? In the afternoon then, after we fed them pizza and a few Haribos, we split everyone into teams and we set them quite a difficult challenge and really put them, in a quite out of their comfort zone, really. They've never been to a workshop like this before.
These graphics, so they're marketing bump, right? And I'm not a big fan of marketing bump, but they come from our strategic brand toolkit. And what they do is break down our customer groups into things that people can understand. When you're a controller, when you're any of us in this room, sometimes we can forget who our customers are. And our brand toolkit gives us predictable Pat, who travels by train and doesn't have access to the latest apps and information. She relies on our screens on stations. You've got people like anxious Abby, who during disruption will really, really struggle with getting to where she needs to be. But these graphics bring to life the people who use our services.
So when we asked our staff from control, who do you think our customers are? Majority of them answered, well, they're commuters, business travellers, leisure travellers. That was pre-COVID. We got so many different customer personas, customer types. Everyone's journey is different. So it did come a bit of a shock. When we showed them these graphics, they thought, right, this is not a cartoon. Come on, what's going on here? Moving on then, I know I'm showing this graphic again, but it's quite impactful within TFW, and I hope you find it impactful as well. When we ask our colleagues, do you understand the customer journey? Where does it start? Where do they go? What happens in between? Majority of the staff fed back, well, it starts at the station, doesn't it? It's like, no. Think about your own journeys you've done recently. They start at home. So we went through this, went through the different pain points that are on each stage and how do they access that information. Followed by this slide. Again, we asked, where do you think our customers get our information? Where do you get your information? Where do you think the information you put into Terrell, the system we use, goes out? Where does it go? They didn't realise or didn't think there are this many touch points on rail, and it's very similar to bus as well. They didn't realise it goes to National Rail Communication Centre that drives National Rail Inquiry's website, lands up on train line, and all these different third-party touch points. And they didn't really understand the overall experience. What happens when you give poor customer information or no customer information? It impacts on our customer experience. So this was the challenge we gave them.
So we asked our team, in conjunction with our innovation lab, to develop an idea. We didn't tell them what the idea needed to be. We just said that it needs to improve the information that we give to colleagues and customers. And we ran this session over 2 days, as Teleri said, so we ran it twice. And amazingly, the very similar ideas started coming out of our control teams. When you give someone free rein to rethink, reimagine what they can do, when you give someone a pack of Post-it notes and say, go and rethink what you do, you give someone complete carte blanche to just rethink their job. And really brilliantly, that's exactly what the teams did. They developed something, they came up with different concepts, and then they ended up with the big idea, which hopefully is all lovely and drawn out on these whiteboards. And they pitched it then to our Chief Operating Officer.
It was quite a full-on afternoon. We got them off their bums, on their feet, went through these different rounds. They had half an hour to do each round, armed with a copy of the pledges and Brilliant Basics. So, yeah, we really pushed them and put them out of their comfort zone. And these are the ideas they pitched us and to the Chief Operating Officer. And these happened organically. We didn't, at this stage, share the draft strategy we had. We didn't discuss anything about the people, the process, or the systems. All of these ideas came from them and then validated our strategy and our ideas. So we felt warm and humbled. And after the session, right, we are doing something right here, and this is what our colleagues want to deliver in the next few years.
And what the people came up with was practical solutions to the problems that they face. It was, how do we get consistent information out? Well, let's write it as templates, copy and paste it into our messaging. It was, can we easily talk to other train operators with Teams, which we're all using now, so let's use it to talk to other TOCs. And helpfully for Velocity, mainly was, can we get a map of our network that shows what our network's like? We're in an industry that has got some historic products. Actually, can we look at where we've got innovative solutions out there to the problems that we face? And each group, over the course of the 2 days, in some form, came up with a live network map.
So these were the outcomes from the Brilliant Basics workshops. So in terms of the people, validated a real-time information strategy, and that was supported by control room colleagues. The process, our control room colleagues understand the process, what does that customer journey look like? We understand how to meet the customer information pledges, especially on when things go wrong. If you want to read that, that's section H and J. Yes. And meeting and exceeding the agreed Brilliant Basics KPIs. And then the systems. New ideas for the website and app, which have been turned into business cases and new projects. We didn't stop there. So we had quite a lot of positive feedback from Brilliant Basics workshops, which we didn't expect. Word got around through TFW that we've done these workshops. Our colleagues from our marketing teams, our stations team, our onboard team asking, can you do something for us? We want to understand more about the pledges and how that affects our areas. So we've done a series of customer information pledges and tailored it to that group, to that department. We're looking at creating dedicated training material to support our face-to-face colleagues. We've run more customer information workshops to tease out more of those problem statements of the challenges our staff have and our customers have, and build our strategy for next year based on those actions. And
we've shared knowledge. So just as we're all coming here today to share knowledge with each other, Teleri and I are members of the Customer Information Group, so some Customer Information Group members here today as well, and what we've done is gone and asked other people how they work. We've gone to visit other operators to see how they work, and we're basically stealing the good stuff, bringing it back into TFW and morphing it into the TFW version of what we do. And that's the big thing that's changed for us, is it's allowed us then to go and innovate with our suppliers. So not looking at the historic, archaic systems that we've got, can we innovate, take all these good ideas we've got from other operators and other top colleagues, can we innovate with new suppliers? That's the end of our rail journey.
we haven't stopped working. We're still going to push through the strategy and create a new version that for next year and for the next 5 years. But there's another challenge on our doorstep, and this is bus franchising system in Wales. Now, why I try and push back to my colleagues at TfW, I'm not doing a lift and shift. What works for rail, for bus. Bus users need a complete different approach. They've got their own set of requirements. The user journeys are different. Same personas, but the journeys are different. So I look to use the same methodology, the people, process, and systems to develop, rewrite the pass-through information that is required for bus users. So we look to, engage with our stakeholders, our bus stakeholders and our bus users and existing bus operators. What are the current challenges? What do you need to get things over the line? What systems do you need? Are we using too many systems? The process, again, do we need to rip that apart and rewrite it, streamline it, make it fast and effective, same as we've done with rail? And then there's the systems. How do we get the Wales Bus Data Service, so very similar to BOD's Bus Open Data Service, to work hard for us so our colleagues can work smarter? So these are our lessons learned over the last 18 months, which I want to share with everyone today. And you're not stealing them, I'm sharing them, take them away, take them back to your organisations. We need to stay connected with our customers. I think COVID hasn't helped in the last couple of years. We've worked from home, we have been out using our services, haven't used our products as often. We need to reconnect with the customer and experience travelling on a train, experience travelling on a bus as a fare-paying customer. Understanding our customer lives, why do they use public transport? Going to hospital, going to see friends, going to do, caring for someone in the community. We need to look at removing barriers to help them with that journey. And then staying abreast. So making sure we keep up to date what the customer is asking for. Keep innovating, keep moving along. We don't want to be setting a strategy, right, that's it, now we're done now, we're okay for 5 years, that's it, we're not listening to the customers. No, we need to continuously develop our strategies and our plan. There's 2 things I haven't added on this slide. In the last couple of months, it's come apparent that there could be a risk of information overload, giving too much information to the customer, and they come confused. We can tell them X, Y, and Z, but they don't know, how do I get home? I just want to get home. How do I get that piece of information? We want to empower our customers, not confuse them. So yes, let's get as much information that is relevant for the journey out there, but we need to tailor it to our customers. It could be a personalized notification to their app, looking at their book ticket, or past behaviors. And lastly, AI. I can't not talk about artificial intelligence. Now, there's definitely a role to support in real-time information delivery with AI. Again, we need to think about customer trust. What do you trust the most? A review off Google or a review from a colleague, from a friend, especially when you go to a restaurant or a holiday. We don't want to create artificial information, or do we? There's no right answer yet, but it's one to think about. So I want to share this. A good friend in South Eastern Rail told me this. John Till, you might know, a few of you in the room might know him. We can deliver the best customer information in the UK or in the world, but our customers will always be disappointed when their train or bus is running late or cancelled. As information experts, we need to empower our customers, give them the information that helps them to make the right decision to get home or get to work or go to the pub. We're always going to have problems with delivering the service, inclement weather, climate change, cattle on the line, trees, so forth. If we can give them the right information and the accurate, timely information, it just softens the blow when they get disrupted.
And that's customer experience, isn't it? Uber did it as probably one of the first companies in the world to let you see how late your taxi was going to be. And suddenly you don't become frustrated your taxi's late because someone tells you it's just coming around the corner. You can see that your taxi is going to be late and you're still annoyed by it. But the customer experience is improved because you can see where your taxi is and you've got access to that information at your fingertips. And you might be disappointed, but you're empowered to know.
Because what we want to hear from the customer and also from the staff, yeah, my train was disrupted, but you know what? The customer information was good. I knew what to do.